My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of the entire series of The Legend of Korra, and this review will have spoilers, so there's your warning. But this is a show I haven't heard good things about. Everybody seems to love Avatar The Last Airbender, but I hear this show is fine, it's good, but nothing overly positive, so color me surprised when I ended up really liking it. And I do like how the structure differs from Avatar. That one had one storyline, but this one had each season be its own storyline. And I love how the ending of each season, for the most part, has ramifications that carries into the next seasons. So it's still a really well structured show. I like how this is a show about moderation. Well, it's definitely most apparent in season one how you've got a threat and the villain means well, but he's doing it in such a way that is indefensibly evil. But then you've got a response to that that can equally be as extreme. And then in season two, you've got a villain who is kind of correct. Korra ends up doing what he wanted to do, but he just took it too far and he got crazy on power. In season 3, the bad guy wants freedom for everyone, so he believes that no government should exist. But that also allows chaos to occur, but he feels like that's the right thing. So the ideology behind this character is fascinating. In season 4, Kavira sets out to do right, but kind of like Unilock in season 2, she just goes a bit power crazy. She goes too far. So I love how this show isn't always black or white. There's nuance, and it shows how extremes on either end can be really bad. And I love how we've got Korra going from a hot-headed, arrogant, and sometimes insufferable person, especially in season 2, where she's straight up abusive. But anyways, I love how she learns her lessons and she becomes more powerful, but she truly becomes a better person by the end. Everything with her character in season 4 I thought was fantastic, and Janet Varney plays her perfectly. Then you've also got Mako, played by David Faustino, who does a fine job. And look, he's kind of bland. The first half, everything with him involves romance and all that, but once that is out of the way, it just becomes apparent that he is boring and he just sucks. You've got a Sammy, voiced by Cicella Gabriel, who's fine. Honestly, I think she's pretty bland as well. Her and Mako would have been a good match because they just both lack in personality. Now, I do like how supportive they both are, and I like everything with Sammy and her father, but I would have liked a bit more to their characters. You've got Bolin, played by PJ Barnes, who I'm just going to say, I think gave an amazing performance in Babylon. He's in it for like 10 minutes, but he's hilarious and he's great here. I think Bolin is really funny, but he also has clear growth, and I love his character arc in season 3 where he's trying to meta bend and he just can't, but he's able to lava bend by the end. That was really well done. You've got Tenzin, voiced by J.K. Simmons, who does a good job. And look, I like him as a character. He can be a real badass when needed. He's patient. He's a good teacher. I just wish he had a bit more to do. Genoa, I like how she gets given more to do in season 2, and there's a clear progression. Kieran Shipka does a good job voicing her. You got Milo, voiced by Logan Wells, who's funny and entertaining enough. His humor is a bit childish, but it works fine enough. The farts is a bit too much. You've got Lynn Bifong, voiced by Mindy Sterling, and I like her. She's got a good backstory and she's a good leader. And yeah, I like her. You've got the villains, Amon, voiced by Stephen Blum. I think For 90% of season 1, he's amazing. But his backstory is so weak and it kinda destroys his character. His motivations aren't all that good. The fact that he actually can bend is a bit disappointing. Because up until then, I love his goals, his motives, and just how menacing he was. And they don't carry that to his end. The hero voiced by Henry Rollins I thought was amazing. I loved his ideology. I loved how patient he could be in moments and how big of a threat he could be in others. Really great work. Unilock, voiced by Adrian Latoa, I think he's good. I do wish he had a bit more depth. Kuvila, voiced by Zelda Williams. Wow. Zelda Williams. She's a legend. I thought she was a very good villain. Plenty of depth. And you kind of feel for her by the end a little bit. Tonwak, voiced by James Remo. He's Korra's dad. He kind of reminds me of Sokka and Katara's dad. He has no real character. He shows up every now and again, but he doesn't really teach or guide or do anything with Korra. He's just stale. Then you've got Boomy, voiced by Richard Riola, who's entertaining enough. Yeah, he's fine. Kyla, voiced by Lisa Edosin. I actually thought she was a really good character. I wish she had more to do. Soren Bifong, voiced by Anne Heche. I think she does a good job. Varric, voiced by John Michael Higgins, I love. He's just so funny and he cracks me up. Vatu and Reva, I love their additions to the Avatar lore, and I love the paper-like look to them. It's very unique and how the colors stand out. Eska, voiced by Aubrey Plaza, I thought was really funny. Opal, voiced by Alison Stoner, did a very good job. Kai, voiced by Skylar Brigman, he's good, but when he's introduced, I thought he was going to become a main character, and he kind of gets forgotten in season 4 for the most part. And I do want to give credit as Jeff Bennett, as he does lots of the narration of this show. He always plays an announcer guy, and he has a nice old-timey voice, which really complements the style of this show. And okay, let's address the love triangle first. It's nice in season 1. I think it's a nice way to add some dynamic to the characters, but it overstays its welcome. It's insufferable in season 2. And Korra and Asami ending up together, it's just a subversion of expectations for the sake of it. Just 20 seconds at the end, they couldn't help themselves, and it really means nothing. But okay, so I went through all the characters, and I think you'll notice a trend. I like most of the characters. They are well written. They have some level of depth and nuance to them. But I feel like most of them need a bit more to do, and they need more personality, more energy, more life. Because if you compare Aang, Katara, Sokka, Toph, and Zuko to Korra, Bolin, Mako, and Asami, like, I would choose the Avatar gang, the last Airbender gang, every single time. You in fact take those characters and compare them to anyone here, and no one comes remotely close. You know, and like even the supporting characters, I remember Mei, I remember Suki, I remember Jet. And lots of the supporting characters here, I just don't. And I do think the villains are pretty strong. I loved Zuko and Azula and Avatar The Last Airbender, but I do think all the villains in this show are stronger than Firelord or Zhao, but I still wish the characters had a bit more life and personality to them. I think the strength of this show really lies in its story and its writing, because I always found it to be thrilling and exciting, and it had stakes and it had weight. I know some people hate the fact the connection with the past avatars gets destroyed, but I love that. In fact, my biggest issue with the show is when Korra loses her powers and she gets them back like that. That's the worst moment, but for the most part, things that happen have weight. Look at the ending of season 3 and how it carries over to season 4. I like that, and I think the action is really great. I love the animation. It's a bit more stylistic, and that really works. So yeah, like the ending of season 1, I don't like. Seasons 2 and 3 can feel a bit segmented, and I do wish the characters had a bit more life and personality, but I still think the addition to this world is so fantastic. The world building is great. I do like lots of these new characters, and I do think the writing is very strong. You've got compelling villains that make for compelling threats. You've got so much excitement and tension and thrills, and it manages to be funny at times, and it's still a really good show, but I would still definitely pick Avatar The Last Airbender above it. But I'd say it's a bit closer than you might think. So anyways, I'll give The Legend of Korra a 7.5 out of 10. Okay, have you seen The Legend of Korra? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more videos soon, and Gavin out.